I just saw Superman, and there is so much I have to talk about that we just need to get straight into the video. Remember, if you like the content, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the good things so that way I can keep making more content. Now let's talk about Superman. I'm going to tell you right now that I thoroughly enjoyed Superman. I loved the viewing experience. I thought it was one of the best comic book movies that has come out in the past decade. So we're just going to start off with why I liked the movie, and then we'll get into some maybe dislikes that I have for later part of the video. But we're going to start off with the positives. Number one positive, they got Superman the character right. I think Superman's main thing is hope and being hopeful for the future, and having this inspirational figure that we can all hope to live up to and aspire to. And in this movie, they really understand that hope is Superman's main attraction. The fact that he is just a guy trying to do his best. Yes, Superman has all these insane powers and he has all these crazy abilities, but the crazy abilities are not the most interesting aspect of Superman. The most interesting aspect of Superman is the fact that he is human. He makes mistakes just like us. He is a flawed character just like us. So that gives us something to relate to. And through all that, through being a flawed character, he still tries his best to save everyone and treat everybody else with the utmost respect and trust that he can. Now, sometimes that doesn't really work out for Clark in trusting everyone as much as he can, but it's the right thing to do. He even inspires the other characters in this movie to be better heroes, which I love. You have the other corporate heroes who are paid by Maxwell Lord to be a sort of superhero team, and at the beginning they're more so of just, okay, we'll get the job done and we'll kind of pine for public approval kind of heroes. I liked Superman. Another one of my positives from this movie is I think that they get the supporting cast right. I think that Lois shines throughout this movie as not just Superman's girlfriend, but another person who has agency and is able to save the day. Lois continuously challenges Superman to be a better hero through her own perspective, of course, but that's why she's here. That's why she's needed. Superman needs that human person that he loves in Metropolis to ground him and let him see the perspective of others. And that's exactly what Lois brings to this movie. Rachel Brosnahan, you are fantastic. I feel like the romance in this movie wasn't forced. It was definitely like real chemistry between David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. Another one of the positives from the movie is that Lex Luthor is probably one of the best villains that we've had in 10 years. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is one of the greatest haters of my generation, bro. He's special. I honestly didn't think that Nicholas Hoult was going to be this good. I can't believe what I watched on my screen. I think in every scene he's the standout. He's the guy who I want to see say more lines, have more to do, even though I feel like he was given enough to do in the movie, but I wanted him to have more because he was just that good. This is a perfect Lex Luthor that we're seeing on screen. Another positive is that a lot of the characters get time to shine. A lot of the supporting characters get time to shine. Jimmy Olsen gets his moment, which is, I found that to be very funny. I found him to be a very charming character that I fell in love with over the course of the movie. But Mr. Terrific gets his moment. Green Lantern gets his moment. Hawkgirl gets her moment. A lot of the characters in the movie who are more of the supporting cast get their moment and their time to shine. You fall in love with these characters. You want to see these characters again. I want to see Mr. Terrific interact with other characters of the DC universe. I want to see him do more. I want to see the rest of these characters again. I really loved how much of an asshole Guy Gardner was. I thought that was one of the funniest parts of the movie. The fact that he was such an asshole, but he's still like a hero. I loved that. Another one of the positives I have is the movie's third act action is honestly amazing. The way that the camera follows Superman flying and going around and doing his little punchy things and fighting is so creative and so immersive. It really felt like you were seeing panels of a comic book put on screen with the way that the camera was following Superman. You can feel how bright and hopeful this movie is through almost every scene, through every performance of every character. The movie is hope personified. I think the pacing of the movie is also really good. There was never a moment in this movie where I like, oh, this is moving a little bit too fast for my taste, or oh, this is moving a little bit too slow. Every single moment was honestly paced pretty well. There's not many moments where you're like, oh, they could have spent more time on that. And the movie is pretty funny as well. The theater that I went to was pretty packed, and honestly, they laughed at almost every single joke that was apparent. Crypto is also a star in this movie. I'm sure he's going to have Groot level impact when it comes to the merchandise and sales after this movie and the toys that are going to be sold for Crypto the Super Dog. It's going to be everywhere. Now, maybe the slight negatives that I have for this movie is that, you know, a couple characters, when you have this many characters in a movie, it's hard to focus on every single one and give like a lot of people a lot of good impact. I think Perry White, you don't really see much of what he's doing throughout the movie. He's not really much of a presence except in certain scenes. You don't really get much from the journalists outside of Lois and Jimmy Olsen. Hopefully we can get more of them throughout more movies if they're going to be characters. And then one of my final criticisms that is really more so of a lighthearted criticism. In a movie of this stature, it's hard to criticize the Israel-Palestine conflict with 100% truth. I think that they removed agency from the US and kind of removed responsibility from the United States in the Israel-Palestine conflict, kind of just saying Israel is a rabid dog and not really pointing out that the United States is also feeding that rabid dog drugs. I don't know, just me, but that's a slight criticism. That's not nothing crazy. I do like the way that they handled it for the most part, but outside of that, this is probably one of the best comic book movies, not only of 2025, but like of all time. Everything you want from a comic book movie, it gave you. Everything you want from a summer blockbuster, it gave you. So I'm super excited for people to go see this movie and discuss it. If you have any more thoughts about the movie you want to add in the comment section, let me know. Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Did you think Superman was gas? Did it live up to your expectations? Comment down below. Alright guys, this has been High Tolerance. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Deuces.